You're very welcome, everybody, to the DSS Hurling Pod, or Camogie Pod today. Joining me is, as usual, Brendan Delaney, our DSS hurling coach. And then we're delighted to welcome Briege Corkery as well, the great Briege Corkery, hurler, footballer for Cork. We're going to chat about the weekend's Camogie. You're very welcome, lads. Briege, I'll start with you. It's great to have you on. What did you... We start with the senior game. Great result for Cork, obviously, especially after the hurlers were narrowly beaten in the final. Great achievement to retain your title. But you know all about retaining titles. So what did you make of the game?
Yeah, I thought it was actually an excellent game, to be honest. Really, really good to watch. I suppose, look, you could really see the difference between the intermediate game and the senior game, the step up, really, to be honest. But I suppose it's all a learning curve for the intermediates. A lot of them won't be able to play intermediate next year, so I'm sure they'll be trying to bet on for the senior panel. So it's a big learning curve for them as they go up, you could see the way the senior girls there played the ball, placed it to girls, kept possession and stuff like that. So, it was a fantastic game to watch, really, to be honest. And, I actually thought Cork were going to hold their 6-point lead. I was not surprised, but I thought they wouldn't have let that lead go. But they showed fierce character to drive on from levelling again. So it was a great game. Yeah.
Just on the intermediate, so Cork can't play intermediate any next year. Is that the way?
No, if you win anyone who plays, they have to be they can play for a year or two, I think, or something like that.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. So there'll be a whole new intermediate team now for next year, really. A big change for the intermediates.
Yeah. Okay. And do you see, I know we were talking about the senior, do you see many that could make the step up?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose everything takes a bit of time, but there are certainly are players there that'll come through. I think Lauren Holman there will definitely, she's been there on the senior panel before. She knows what it takes. She's that little bit older, and I think it's better she's getting. You have, Fiona Nelligan. She came on as a sub. She made a huge impact to the intermediate game. And I think, she's another girl that will be learning away bit by bit, and she can come through. The likes of Maeve Ring, I think she's a really strong player. And I think she could definitely make an impact in senior in a couple of years to come. She's only 21, I'd say. So she has a lot of learning to do as well. So yeah, there's definitely players there that are able to step up, and it'll be, makes great competition for the girls as well.
Very good stuff. Brendan, what did you make of the game just overall before we get into the nuances of it?
Yes, sorry, Briege.
No, sorry, you're okay.
No, I'm just echoing there what Briege was saying. I thought the intensity from the start was a massive step up and incredible from both sets of players to be able to last the full 60 minutes doing that. I thought you could really see across all games, but particularly in the senior there, the benefits of having a good subs coming off the bench. Cork subs finished with 3 points, which ultimately was the difference between the teams. I thought Galway kind of seemed to tire and didn't get that bounce from the substitutes. The second half I thought was very interesting. It was nearly 3 different 10-minute periods where Cork went 1-4 to no score for the first 10. Then Galway were 6 points to no score for the next 10. And then they finished up with, I think it was 3 points to nothing then for the last kind of 10 or 12, 13 minutes, which was bizarre, really, kind of when you think about how even the game was, really, especially in the first half. But yeah, no, I thought it was an absolutely excellent game, to be honest. Unbelievable skill, determination, and intensity and energy throughout it all.
Yeah, there was only One wide in the first half. I've never seen that before. I don't remember a hurling or camogie match like that. One wide, and it wasn't like it was boring, and it was some savage scores. I can't remember the score at half time, but one wide in the first half. Like, it's incredible accuracy, isn't it? From both, from both sides. With some savage points scored.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Just on that, the third quarter is always a crucial one. I just made a note here. I think it was Cork were flying it. They got the goal. We'll talk about the goal in a while. I know there's a bit of controversy about it, but third quarter, 37 minutes, Cork were flying it. Then who went off injured? Was it Katrina Mackey who went off injured?
Katrina Mackey went off injured, yeah.
Yeah, and I wrote down Mackey injury, momentum. That seemed to disrupt Cork, and Galway roared into it. With some great scores. They might have got level. Was that just quick? Do you think that disrupted Cork for a while, that injury?
Well, I would have thought it did. I thought Katrina Mackey was Cork's biggest threat all day. Orla Callahan was excellent. Like, Orla Callahan did an awful lot of work as well. But when Katrina Mackey was on the ball, she threatened every single time, I felt. And I think Galway got a boost by her going off. And I think Cork might have got a little bit of a kind of a worrying period, maybe. And I suppose matches go like that. You'll have your purple patches too. Like, every team will get their purple patch. But yeah, I do think Mackey going off definitely was a changing point as well for Galway. To come back from those 6 points to level again, it was huge. It was some going to create that, So yeah, I think Katrina. It was a pity to see Katrina going off because she was having such a fantastic game. And she was the big worry. She's great to run into space, and she's also great on the ball as well. So I'd say Galway got a bit of relief that she was gone.
Yeah. But even the first half, I thought when they get good ball, they look very dangerous. But they did that in patches, didn't they?
Cork or Galway, sorry.
Cork.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure. Like, they created loads of space inside, and like when the ball was going in, like, I just felt all day Cork were far more dangerous than Galway. I'm surprised Cork only got the one goal, to be honest. I thought, they were more threatening than that. I felt.
Yeah.
I didn't think Galway was threatening. I would feel that Galway got plenty of supply into the full forward line, but they probably didn't, use it enough. Like, they didn't utilise it. Cork backs did fantastic though as well, and Laura Tracey was a sweeper. She sweeped up an awful lot as well. She's incredible at that role. She knows where to be. And I think that was a big difference that, Galway did utilise the ball that was gone into them. But again, that comes from the pressure of the back line too.
Yeah. Brendan, I was just going to ask you about that. I just have Laura Tracy's name written down here. When they played the wings, they looked actually quite good. Like, Niamh Mallon is a savage player, but they hit a lot of aimless ball, and Laura Tracey picked it up. So was it just Laura Tracey was just, sometimes players have these games where the ball seems to just follow them everywhere, or was it just poor Galway play, really?
Yeah, I'd say nearly a mix of both, to be honest, Barry. Laura's positioning is absolutely outstanding. She seems to know where the ball is before even the Galway players know where it's coming. She's excellent at reading the play, but then use of the ball then is very good. But I think what Galway kind of struggled with maybe a bit was they got serious joy in the semi-final against Tipp with Niamh Mallon up front. She caused Tipp an awful lot of bother, but they didn't have that maybe outlet this time. She was obviously put on Laura Hayes maybe to stop Laura Hayes going forward. We know how good she's been throughout the year. So they lost that outlet up front where Niamh Mallon's well able to hold the ball up and bring other players into the game, but maybe they just they were relying too much on that for the last couple of games and just didn't have the other players to do it this time. But again, that doesn't take away from how good I thought Laura was on the day. She was outstanding, to be honest.
That last 6 minutes, 6 minutes injury time, I thought she was unreal, wasn't she? Like, Jesus,
yeah. I felt she came out with every ball, but she didn't lose it once. There was even at one stage there was 3 Galway players chasing her, and she had the composure to turn around, run back towards her own goal, and then hit it out, a good pass out to the wing forward on the Cusack stand side. Again, composure at that stage of the game was incredible.
Yeah, like the last did she come out with a ball? The last score, Briege, that Cork got to go 3 points ahead. I think was one of the most, like, it was really. I have last score 3 points ahead. Quality, composed play. I think she was involved in that. I just thought that was savage. It was really,
like I think Laura's consistent like that. Like, she's just a very good centre back. Like, and the role that she's given, even if she's to mark, she can do that role as well. So she's a very consistent player, like, you know, and her composure is what she's good at as well. I suppose that's what you want most out of a centre back, is to be composed and not to be panicking. Yeah, and I just felt like she, like Brenda was saying, she knows where to be. It's like she can just read the ball very well. And I think maybe Galway probably played it into her hands a good bit. But I think, you know, Cork will be delighted how well they did defensively, like, you know.
Yeah. Brendan, after the hurling final, we were chatting about Clare's bench being the difference. They had a bigger impact than Cork's. I think it's safe to say that the bench did the business for Cork. Claude, Fahey, Emma Murphy. You know, yeah, the bench was. Do you agree? The bench was the key.
Definitely, yeah. Like, Cork's bench got the last 3 points between Cirque McCartan and Claude Finn. But even bringing on Maeve Cahalane off the bench is some player to be bringing in, like their on-field captain all year. She had a tough injury to come back from. So massive credit there to Rona Mills and the medical team to get her back onto the pitch for the last day. But she just kind of shored up the defence. She, for when kind of Galway did get back on top, she came in, and I don't think Galway scored after she came in. So she was another massive impact, as well as the ones, say, on the scoreboard. But it was something we saw across all the games, really, that the teams that won out, their bench had a massive impact.
Yeah. Briege, if I can just ask you, I look at Aisling Thompson, and yesterday she reminded me of, say, Noel McGrath or Tipp, the way his vision and his ball striking, and I just thought that she reminded me of him yesterday, the way she was playing for 50 minutes anyway. She tired towards the end. She looked out on her feet, for me anyway. But I just thought for 50 minutes, I thought she was exceptional. Just the vision and her ball striking, and like you know her. Could you sum up maybe her influence on the team, what she brings to Cork Camogie?
Yeah, I thought she played very well now yesterday. She got on an awful lot of balls. She was in the defence, in the corner back, and then she was up, like, you know, passing the ball off, crossfield ball. She's a superb strike of the ball. And I think she just has this presence as well, that, you know, that she brings fear into opposition as well. She just has that presence. I think Jim O'Connor used to have the same presence as well, like that, you know. So she's just one of those players that always had that the fear factor. She was well able to collect the ball. She knew where to put it. And I thought she did have a fine game yesterday. You know, and like, when you have someone as experienced as that, you know, sometimes experience can be as good as anything. You know, you learn as you get older. I definitely feel. So I think she had a huge impact on the game yesterday. I think Galway might be a bit disappointed they didn't have a plan for her. I think they left her run loose. And I think Cork's midfield definitely got the better of Galway yesterday. They were more composed on the ball. and they just seem to do a lot better, you know.
Was she playing a different role yesterday, or that it just seemed like an obvious thing to do? That like Galway are successful side, Cathal Murray is top manager. Was that just a surprise? Do you think that that's what Aisling was doing, or would that have been something that you would have said, geez, if they tie her down, it'll be that's
well, I
key.
think that's Aisling's best role is when she has that roaming role. I think, you know,
Yeah.
I was surprised they didn't have someone on her to, like, you know, to stop her from the roaming role. She can score from she's a long puck of the ball. So, like, you know, she's not one of these players that has to go into, you know, inside the 45. She can score outside that as well on the run. So I was surprised they left her so loose.
Yeah.
Now she's happy and fit as well. So, like, she obviously wasn't that easy to mark either. You can't, you know, I wouldn't take that away from her. But I was surprised that she was left as loose as she was, you know.
Yeah.
Especially when Galway had an extra player outfield. If I don't know who had come out, Laura Tracey was left free. It was just, I don't know. It was just kind of funny how they didn't have more of a plan for her.
Yeah, that's what did you think of that, Brendan? Was it something that stood out for you? Not her performance, because we all know she's a quality player, but were you surprised that Galway left her have the run at Croke Park? It looked like to me.
Yeah, she kind of seemed to pick up that little pocket, say, where Laura Tracey left free. You know, she gathered a lot of ball kind of in maybe between centre back and midfield, and I don't know, were Galway maybe afraid to push her because they're obviously worried about the three inside who have done so well for Cork for so long, that maybe they're trying to cover that space. Maybe that was drilled into them more than pick up Aisling Thompson. Look, I don't know the answer to that. I'm just kind of maybe thinking. I do think Cork have a lot of very good players around that middle third that, you know, Galway don't want to use all their players to just be marking. So Hannah Looney, Laura Tracey, Laura Hayes, Aisling Thompson. There's four there straight away who nearly need to be pinned down. Like they use Niamh. Go on,
You've Saoirse McCarthy as well, who has been,
yeah.
like, I thought yesterday was probably one of her quieter games, even though she still scored 2 brilliant points. But, you know, she has to be pinned down as well. So yeah, they had a lot of people to be pinning down, to be fair to them.
Yeah, and like, say, even, you know, say using Niamh Mallon to stop Laura Hayes, stopped Laura Hayes' influence, but stopped Niamh Mallon. So, you know, maybe if they had used Niamh Kilkenny to pick up Aisling Thompson, you're losing Niamh Kilkenny moving forward, and we know how good she is delivering ball inside or laying it off to, say, to Aoife Donoghue and the likes. So, look, it's a difficult one when you're coming up against a team with that many high-profile players and really good players on form to pin everybody down, and maybe they were kind of looking at protect the house and let Aisling play ball out there, but unfortunately didn't work out for them. Well, fortunately for Cork.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just on the, I want to ask you maybe about some of the rules of Camogie, because this is the first time we've kind of had a Camogie pod. Okay, Briege. I suppose after the hurling final, Brendan, we were chatting about the score, the free that wasn't given to Cork. Was it Robbie O'Flynn that was obviously fouled there at the end. The Cork goal, it looked to me like she threw it up, missed it, and into the net. So was it should have been allowed? Nobody complained about it. That was the thing. Everyone just got on about it.
Well, funny enough, like, RT didn't even pick up on it until later. I think, like, I remember the minute it was scored, I was like, "Oh Jesus, that's a throw ball."
Yeah.
No one, but I think it was very hard for the ref to see it. I'll give her that much. Like, I think the umpires should have seen it. But, like, I mean, obviously we're delighted it stood.
Obviously.
But and then on the other side, you know, they were, you know, was it a penalty beforehand anyway? You know, was that the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah.
But I suppose, as Cathal Murray said, you know, they have to take the penalty, so it mightn't have gone in. So, like, you can see it from both sides. I don't think it was Liz Dempsey's fault in the fact that how was she to see it, but I feel the umpire should really have caught it.
Yeah.
No Galway player questioned it, And even the RT, will say, commentators and analysts didn't question it either at the start. And it was funny. I did find it funny, but it definitely was. I definitely feel it was a throw ball.
Yeah.
But I think if anyone was to pick it up at the time, it should have been the umpires. And I think there's a lot of giving out about Liz Dempsey not picking up on it. But sure, I mean, Katrina's back was taught how she to know someone didn't get a flick. So it's hard to know that way,
And especially if none of the Galway players picked it up, how is the referee going to pick that up?
Yeah.
Suppose,
I think if you were to question anyone, you'd question the umpires how they didn't pick it up. They were looking straight at it. But look, it's one of those things. It's was it probably was the winning and losing of the game, but there was because it gave Cork huge momentum. Then gave them the real momentum. But look, Katrina Mackey went off straight after that. Then so it's just hard to know really.
Yeah. It's just you wonder then the umpires do they have the power to come in and I thought right. I've spoken to referees in the inter-county season the last couple of years, right? The team I was involved in, and I know one particular ref. This is Lee McCarthy level now, who will tell me that some referees tell his officials that don't come near me, I don't want to hear you. And some referees will say, if you see something, if it's steps, it's something, just get into the ear and tell me. I want to know. So I wonder, did the umpires have the power to tell her, listen, throw ball, should have been a free out? You wonder.
I don't know if they even see it though themselves. I don't think they even thought, because they didn't even react. They just went for the flag straight away. They didn't even look at each other or, you know what I mean? I don't think they even saw it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can they tell the ref or not? I'm actually not too sure. I would hope to think that they can. I think it's the obvious thing for both sport, for football and hurling, that the linesmen and the umpires have to have a say, because it's just gone too quick now. The game has gone too quick. It's impossible to be a ref. They're not going to be up with every decision. I suppose I felt sorry for the ref for the men's All-Ireland hurling. He got a lot of grief, and I suppose rightly so. It was the last puck of the ball. He should have got a free, but he was after running around the pitch. He was fatigued as well, So I think if one of the sideline men had found it, or the umpires had seen that, they'd be able to say, "Hey, there was definitely free in there." I think they have to have a bit of help, really, to be honest. The game has gone too quick, and it's impossible to keep up with every step. And I mean, Liz Dempsey wasn't going to be able to see whether Katrina Mackey hit that ball or not. So unless they can get the help, it's not going to improve. Refs aren't going to improve unless they get the help. And I think it should become a general rule that the linesmen and umpires have a say, to be honest.
Yeah. What did you make of it, Brendan? I suppose it was obviously a throw, but how do you see, maybe, how could we help the referees more in Camogie?
Yeah, I suppose just touching on your point, the main one I thought there was the Galway players. I don't know, was it Derval Higgins, I think, tackling at the time, didn't protest at all. I thought it straight away, but based off the protests and nothing, I'd said, okay, it must be wrong here. She must have got a flick. Look, I know, say, touching on your point there of some referees want feedback from officials, some don't. So are the umpires there just looking for it to cross the line, and then they're happy to wave the flag? And if the decision is overruled by the referee, then fair enough. Again, we don't know that. Just on Briege's point there, the game is way too quick, though. For one referee, they do need support, whether that's just for the big chances, like say a goal like that. You get somebody in the press box somewhere just to have a quick look at the replay, and look, that was a throw ball. Go back to if it was a penalty or if it's a free out or whichever the decision is. Is it going to help the game? But then, because points can be such an impact as well, where do you draw the line there of what you're stopping? Is there a free on the opposite 65 now being picked up because they're scoreable? So look, I I don't have the answer for you.
Yeah, it's hard.
But yeah, it is difficult. Like everybody looks at say the other sports, like say that have brought it in. You know, say your tennis, cricket. You know, they're very black and white. They're straightforward. We're obviously in a unique sport that there's points, goals, and you can score from literally anywhere in the hurling and camogie now. So I don't know. I don't want to see a VAR type situation where it takes 2 or 3 minutes to come up with a decision.
I think
you know, even yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think if we are relying on just the naked eye, then we just need to go with that and accept that there will be mistakes. Like there's mistakes at every minute of the game, you know, from players and bits like that, that the referees are going to make them as well. And unfortunately, it just becomes talking points. And I do think it can be quite unfair. I saw there was a lot of talk about Liz Dempsey online. I thought it was quite good. I thought it was physical. I thought it was very fast. You know, she wasn't pulling for every type of free that we have seen. Briege, we saw frees let go yesterday that would be frees say in the men's game, which is, which was good to see. I thought, but again, unfortunately, she's just coming in for a bit of stick now that the gap was 3 points at the end, and that goal was a bit with a big controversy around it. Yeah.
I can't remember her apart from that, which is, like I said, it's a good sign of a ref for me, is that if you know, it was a really good game. Like bad referees make bad matches. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah,
but
I think there was
good
a couple
referees will contribute to good games.
Yeah, I wouldn't have complained about her at all. To be honest,
I agree.
I mean, I think as I said a while ago, the throw ball. I mean, Katrina's back was to her. How was she to know whether she hit it or not? There was a couple of decisions. I think maybe Galway could have got a penalty. They actually got Cork ended up getting a free out. That was a crucial call, maybe. The Cork got a free out for Barry, but I think she was fouled before that. That might have been questionable. And then there was just kind of maybe 1 or 2 other calls. But like, as I said, the game is so fast. It's very hard to make every call correct. I think over the 66 minutes, I thought she was outstanding, to be honest. I did think she was very good. Yeah. And I think it's a bit harsh to be, but I think that's the era we're in now. It's go onto social media and blame someone. So like, you just have to kind of take no notice of that. In general, I thought she did well.
Yeah. Just on the rules in general, Briege, there's a few frees. So when your player's running through, and when a girl stands up, and there's a few frees given where it's like a shoulder to the chest, but it's not like you can get out. I mean, it looks to me like that somebody can just stand, plant their feet, and I could run into someone, and it's not my fault, but it's a free out. Could you maybe explain that rule? Is it a shouldering rule, or is it?
Yeah, I think it's more 2 seconds there. Sorry, no, 2 seconds left, but I'll be 2 seconds. Sorry, I have 2 lads after coming in and top me. Sorry. I think so. I think if you stand your ground, well, I'm not going to lie now, because I find that I know in ladies football, if you stand your ground and you don't move your feet and they run into you, it's a free out. So it would be a free to me. Yeah. I presume it's the same in the camogie. Sometimes it's kind of hard to know. Like, I suppose it's kind of like barging. If you're standing your ground, is it not the same in the men's game?
I know, but there was a couple of incidents where one of the girls was in the second half. One of the Galway girls was running through, and she definitely tried to turn, but the Cork girl just stood her ground. It's not like nobody could get out of the way, but the ball carrier was penalised.
Penalised, yeah. And so I think
she's like, I thought, is that not just good hard
hurling,
camogie,
Yeah, definitely. So I know you're probably like, how do you not know the rules? But I definitely
know.
No,
I'm not saying that.
Yeah. No, but in ladies football, I definitely know that's the rule. If you stand your ground and someone runs into you, it's a free out. Yeah. In camogie, I didn't think that was the way in camogie, but I did see like that's what frees were given to us. So if you're not making an effort to go around the player, is it barging? You're being penalised for barging, like.
Yeah. I mean, I've no doubt that she got the call, referee got the call right. I just think
Yeah.
that adds to some of the abuse that they don't understand the rules. You see, I think we all
Yes,
know
yeah,
the hurling rules, but I think there's a lot of people who don't know the camogie rules.
yeah.
Out
Well,
there.
they're quite sure they're more or less similar, really, and especially since the contact has come into camogie.
Well,
But yeah, I suppose from a player's point of view, for myself, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a free out to Cork at those points. Like, you know, if you're going to go run straight into player, yeah, and if you're standing your ground, but yeah.
Yeah. Brendan, have you any thoughts on that, or have you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to maybe think and compare to the men's game. Like, does it happen that much that somebody runs through and completely flattens somebody on the other team? You know, maybe it's a case of maybe the camogie players know that, okay, if I plant my feet here and fall back, I know I'm getting a free out.
Yeah.
Compared to in the men's game, it's a big kind of maybe thing of get contact on and make sure you're not flat-footed when you're defending. I don't know. I do agree though. Like a couple of ones, you know, I don't watch as much camogie as I watch hurling, but I could definitely see and say, okay, that's a free out because of that rule. Maybe because it's more prevalent in Gaelic football ladies football, that when they are running through, it's up to the attacker to get out of the way. Am I right in saying that, Briege? So
yeah, that's
yes.
the way it is. Like, that's the way it is in ladies football. And now I'm just double thinking myself in camogie. Is that the rule that has come in as well? But
yeah,
I thought, like, yeah, that's the way it's been played all with years. If the person is knocked over, it's nearly always barging. So yeah.
And that one, maybe that one that you were on about at the end with when Laura Tracey kind of got a free out for it is maybe that bit of controversy comes from that, with players maybe mightn't know 100% what it is, but that seemed to be a very good example of that free out.
Yeah. And just quick question: should it be called camogie or women's hurling? When I coach camogie, right, and I did it a few years ago, I was doing a good bit of it. I just called them hurlers, you know, and our hurt match. I think it was called women's hurling, you know, and I always refer to camogie as hurling. So, but am I right? Am I wrong? Or should I be?
Here, you know, I don't know. Like for me, I think it's equal to them. Really, like I suppose camogie was set up. Like, you know, it can define between, you know, it's like ladies football and football. Camogie was set up I just think call it camogie or call it hurling, whatever you want to call it. I don't think there should be you know, I don't think there should be we need to start calling it hurling. You know, that's not going to make a difference. It's not going to get 80,000 to the match for them overnight. You know what I mean? Just, you know, keep building the game as players keep progressing. There's a lot of progressing. Like, camogie has come on hugely since, like, we'll say I was started out. And I think if they continue progressing that way, what we call it is equal them, really. And just go away and play the game and enjoy it for the right reason. And if you want to tell your kids growing up that it's hurling, just say that away. But I suppose at home, are you going to hurling train? Are you going to ladies hurling, like women's hurling? No, camogie's grand way of defining it, I suppose. Yeah, it wouldn't make any difference to me. The most important thing is that I suppose we're looked equally as players, and you know, and we're still building that equality around the place. And I suppose I'm not hugely into what would I say, like being equal overnight. It'll take its time. I mean, the game yesterday was phenomenal. I would say it was better, like way better game than what we'd have played before, like, and stuff. So, you know, we're getting there slowly but surely. And at the end of the day, there is no comparison to a hurling game than there is to a camogie game. You know, like hurling is just out of this world because of the strength and the speed and the everything about hurling is just phenomenal. Like, you know, camogie, it's getting there, but truth be truth, we'll never be. as Camogie players, we'll never beat Hurling, if that makes sense. I wait for watching a ladies football game to a men's game, a men's football game, but the class of hurling is just, it's second to none. It's the best sport in the world.
Yeah. Was the crowd? Yes, was it a good crowd at the match? Was it well received, or are they? Obviously, you always want more, but
yeah, I think the crowds for Camogie are definitely getting bigger. Like, you know, I suppose back when I was playing and stuff like that, they could be only 12 to 20,000 at the Camogie. Whereas that has improved hugely. I actually don't know what the full figure was yesterday. Yeah, but like the last couple of years, it has reached up around the 33,000, which is fantastic. Like, you know, so it definitely is getting bigger. The crowds are definitely getting, and even, you know, I think we focus an awful lot on the final, what's at the final, but I prefer them to start focusing on the round robin games and, you know, seeing the form throughout the year rather than just one big day for the Camogie, you know. I'd love clubs to be promoting the round robin games, the semi-finals, the quarter-finals, you know.
Yeah. I saw Tipp and Waterford and Tipp and Galway, and they were cracking games, you know, nail biting games, you know, down to the wire kind of stuff. No, it was really good. Just on the junior game, so we'll spend about 2 hours talking about Tipp now, Brendan, is it?
That's what you're looking for, is it?
Yeah. No, come here. I just want to congratulate them. There's two from our club involved in the backroom teams, Bobby Carrigan and Gráinne O'Leary from Ballybait Grange. I just want to congratulate them, part of the backroom. Brilliant achievement. The game itself, where was it won and lost, do you think?
Again, similar to say our podcast a couple of weeks ago with Clare and Kilkenny, it was nearly a game of two halves, like literally flipped on its head. The work rate from Laois in the first half was incredible. I don't think Tipp really kind of got to grips with them, and then it just flipped in the second half. It was 1-5-4 at half time, and then say 8 points to 3 in the second half. Now, I know there was a win that they spoke about, but I just thought a lot of what Laois did in the first half good. Tipp really nullified that, and just Laois couldn't get going again, couldn't get up to the level that they were, and I just thought Tipp roared into the game and had a massive difference. I thought, like, in one sense, Laois were nearly lucky. They had Tipp had a goal chance that they went for a point, and it was just pushed wide, and then straight away Laois went up the other end and got a penalty, and didn't score straight off the penalty, but got a goal from the rebound and went 1-2 to a point up. So it wasn't maybe a clear reflection. It could have easily been 1-1 to 2 points in favour of Tipp, or it could have even been 2 points each before that goal. So I thought Laois were kind of lucky in that sense, but I did think they were playing very well. Tynan at centre back was excellent, and then Ciara Brennan for Tipp I thought was outstanding throughout. And then the bench then from Tipp as well really showed and really pushed on. So they got a nice bounce off the bench and a nice bit of energy again. And that the first kind of 15 minutes of the second half, Tipp got 6 in a row and really kind of got rid of Laois's half-time advantage very, very quickly, I thought.
Yeah, going in at half-time, I thought that just Tipp would have been happy not hurling their best, but they got those scores before half-time. That was key. And then, look, it just shows how important the free taker is as well.
Yeah.
You know, Tipp worked. She was outstanding.
Tipp must be doing a lot of work underage and stuff. Their seniors had a brilliant year this year. They'll be disappointed not to be in the final, and then to have their seniors win their Ireland, like they're up and coming again. You know,
there's unbelievable work going on in Tipperary, Briege. In clubs, especially like there's Camogie clubs starting up. You know, like say my club's Ballybait Grange, but I live in Clonmel. It's about 9 miles away. But in Clonmel, a Camogie club has started here, whereas before you'd have to travel for a Camogie club. But it's starting to get really strong the last number of years. It's got really, really strong down south. There's always a good culture up north. Say Cashel, places, Castle Sleeve, places like that. But down south, there's a big camogie drive going on, and that will only help Tipp going on in the future. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because I actually thought Tipp would beat Galway, to be honest, in the semi-final.
Sure. So do we all.
Yeah. So it was, it was. I'm sure they're disappointed not to be there, but
they will get over the line.
A lot of work.
They will. It's just they've lost a lot of semi-finals. Some would say ones they should have won, but they will get over the line. I've no doubt. There's too much talent coming through. A bit like the Cork seniors, like there's a lot of talent there. They will get over the line eventually. Look, I think we didn't really talk about the intermediate game. Is there anything you want to add about the intermediate, Brendan? Intermediate match. For you.
Her first name escapes me now, but Briege might be able. Is it Clino O'Callaghan from Blackrock?
Yes, Clino. Yeah.
I thought she was excellent. Every time she got the ball, she had a goal in her mind. Like her Blackrock clubman there with Alan Connolly, really both playing full forward, both with goal on their mind every time they get the ball. I thought she was excellent. From your own club as well, Briege, Dooley's real eye for goal, real eye for taking on a player. Was very good. And then obviously Flanagan spoke about it in her speech afterwards, but Nelligan getting the last point was great, especially as she had missed a lot of the year through injury, which was very good.
I felt Nelligan kind of changed the game for Cork. I thought she really injected pace. For me, I felt she was the really one that like took the ball on, took the players on. I thought she injected an awful lot of pace into Cork. There was no one else stood out. I thought Emma Flanagan did well to get the ball. Maybe it gave it away a lot, but I think maybe that was their game plan. But I thought Emma Flanagan in the back line did excellent. But I think Nelligan for me was probably the real changing point for them. And Lauren Holman's free from the sideline to level it was
excellent.
Unbelievable. Yeah. An unbelievable score. So it was a tight angle, I think overall Cork were the better team overall. They definitely deserve to win the intermediate as well.
Yeah, I thought it was a scrappy game. I've written down here it was, you spoke about there, so the difference between the senior game, there was an awful lot more ball to hand or first touch was, but I just thought it was a bit scrappier. But then one thing that really stood out was just on the lead up to it, Kilkenny had 19 goals all year, and then I thought Cork shut that down very, very, very well. Kilkenny had very little goal chances, and the goal they did got was just a high ball in from Danielle Morrissey. So I thought they defended very, very well, and as you said there, Flanagan was very good in the backs in kind of leading that.
Yeah.
Who I didn't see the Sunday game last night. Who got man of the match or player of the match in the senior?
It was Aisling Thompson. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't complain about that.
Yeah, I think it was. I think deservedly so. Like she was definitely one of the standout players. Who else? I thought Katrina Mackey. Only for Katrina Mackey going off, I would have thought she definitely for the first 40 minutes she was definitely in line for it.
Yeah.
And Orla Cahalan, I think did a lot of work, touched a lot of ball. Probably she got. Did she get a point or 2 points as well? But she created an awful lot as well. I thought she was a standout. And then I just thought Laura Tracey just, free roll maybe, that's fine. But she played it really, really well as well. So they would have been my top players for contention on the day as well.
Yeah. It's hard to see them being stopped. Sure. Who has to come back next year? Is it Libby Coppinger that has to come back next year?
Yeah, Libby had a bad injury this year, yeah. So she's No,
not a bad player to come back. Into a winning setup.
Yeah, excellent player. No, I don't look. I had predicted nearly all year that I didn't see anyone. My biggest fear might have been Tipp. Actually, I was saying if anyone could beat him, it might be someone like Tipp. But I didn't fear Kilkenny or Galway this year. I just felt that Cork, just seemed to be. they seem to be a much sharper side yesterday. I felt their hurling was definitely much faster. When the ball went into the Galway full forward line, they were slower trying to put it over the bar, whereas Cork were much nippier. They just looked much nippier, whether it was fitness or whether just sharper hurling. They just looked. I felt they looked always in control, really, as such.
Yeah, no, fully deserved victory. Congratulations to Cork. Great day for them, intermediate and senior champions. Look, we'll leave it at that. Briege, thanks a million for coming on.
No matter. Thanks very much.
And we hopefully talk again.
Yeah.
Brendan, as always, great job.
Thanks a million, Barry.
And,
Cheers, Briege.
Super. Thanks, Brendan.
Talk soon.